Starting life with just an axe and no money left us no choice but to cut down deadwood trees for contract money. This proved to be a solid starting point and allowed us to purchase a lawnmower, allowing for bigger and more lucrative contract payouts, which led us to purchase our very first tractor, the Massey Ferguson 675, and a fertilizer to go with it. Using this, what can we do as we head into November? All right, and we've made it into November, guys. It is early morning. We've got plenty of contracts to do. We've got our new Massey Ferguson 675, as well as our fertilizer on the back of it as well. This thing has been a great addition to our adventures here. We've currently got $7,500 in the bank, and our aim here for November is to open up a couple more contracts, get those completed, especially the fertilizer contracts we've got going on now, and see how much money we can bring in to upgrade our equipment, maybe purchase our first piece of land, and also do some more contracts and get some more machinery and maybe even another tractor. Now we head off to the first couple of contracts that we've accepted here, number 44, and we've got about 234 liters of solid fertilizer before we have to buy some more, and getting field 44 done and out of the way first thing in this episode. As you can see, getting it finished now. We've got plenty of time in November before we head into winter, which is going to be a very tricky couple of months. Hopefully there'll be some contract money in there too, but we get this one done and we take a look at what we've earned from it. It's only a couple of thousand there. As you can see, $1,058 in the bank, our first contract collected, and then we've got fields 89 and fields 2 to go as well. Some big payouts coming to get us just over the $10,000 mark, and we are thinking about buying a pallet fork to go on the front of the tractor. It's something I've been looking at because the trips back and forth from the shop might start taking a bit too long if we have to only have the small fertilizer on the back. So I thought it'd be a good thing to purchase next, to buy the arms and the pallet fork as well very soon, but we don't actually have enough money yet to do that. So we're just going to purchase another fertilizer bag here, fill up from the shop, and then head off to field number 2, where we're going to fertilize that one, get that finished, and hopefully then we will have enough money to purchase our front forks, in which we can then carry around a fertilizer pallet with us as well, which will be really handy for not having to travel back to the field, and we'll be able to get more done in one go and carry about 2,000 or 1,300 liters of fertilizer each time we go out. And then we've left the worker in there, and we thought we'd go off and do another deadwood contract, which will net us another $2,000, and that's just up the road. So we're going to go for a run, head over there, and get that finished. Now, these deadwood contracts are actually really quite lucrative for the time that they take to do. It's just a matter of actually going and doing it and finding the trees themselves. As you can see, we'll get to the first tree here, we cut it down, and we finish off the deadwood contract after skipping through the rest of the trees, getting that done. And as we've done that, while we were doing that, the the AI worker doing the fertilizing in field 2 got it to 70% and then stopped. So it looks like they have emptied the fertilizer, and we're going to have to go back there and fill that up. So the contract money coming in for doing the deadwood contract is there, and we're going to take this tractor, the workers finished for the day, and we're going to take this back to the shop where we're going to get it filled up again with some more fertilizer and then come back and finish the field ourselves. Now, we're looking pretty good so far. The annoying thing is this fertilizer can only hold 300 liters, and it does mean quite a lot of trips. So having that front loader will be really helpful soon once we finish these 2 contracts. We've just got the headland left to do and a little bit of the other end of the field. So we're going to get this one finished ourselves, just so we can get a bit of that money in without having to pay too many wages to the workers. But the plan here is to do contracts and lots of money until we can purchase our own piece of land and more equipment, and we will be using the workers if required and paying them well for their work as well. And another contract here done. As you can see, fertilizing complete, 2,700 in the back, and we've got field 89 to go. But before we head over to field 89, I thought it was time. We've got enough money now to come back to the shop and purchase our front forks, as well as fill up here with the rest of the fertilizer. So you can see we've got about 279 liters of fertilizer left in that bag, so we might buy another fertilizer pallet if we have enough. I don't think we'll have enough straight away, but we will go and buy the front pallet forks now, so that we can head on over to the field and take that one, which has about 300 liters left in it as well. We'll take the Massey over to the vehicle workshop here, open up the menu and customize it and add on the front forks. There was an option to upgrade the Massey's engine as well, but we don't have enough money to do that just yet. This $1,500 upgrade to get the arms attachment is going to be a really good start, and that leaves us with $9,700 to purchase the arms themselves and the pallet fork as well. We're going to do that now. We're going to grab the cookie one. We're going to paint it red just to go alongside our Massey colors. And we're going to get that one bought, and then we're going to grab the pallet fork as well. And then hopefully it will start helping us earn a bit more money a bit faster by taking a pallet of fertilizer with us to the fields so that we can reload the fertilizer spreader while we're out in the field without having to come back to the shop. And it allows us to carry 1,000 liters of fertilizer on the front fork when we have a full one. So it'll last a long time compared to how many trips we're going to have to do without it. So we'll grab the pallet fork here. As you can see, we are down to $500 in the bank, which means we cannot actually afford to buy another fertilizer pallet, which is about $2,000 just yet. We're going to grab this one that's got 300 left and take it with us. So that should put us up to just under 600. Hopefully finish field 89 if we have enough in it. We're going to head up there now to the other side of the map, get that field started. And we're going to do this one ourselves just to save a bit of money. We don't need the AI doing it at the moment. But there is another deadwood contract we see on the way, which is up very far north in field 39. So we're going to accept that and do that one afterwards. But first, we will get field 89 here. To pull up, we're going to chuck the fertilizer pallet just to the side of the field. I think in future, after this one, we'll just carry it around with us on the front fork just so we can unload and load the fertilizer spreader on the go. And it might actually proved to be a really worthwhile investment until we upgrade this thing. So now we're getting field 89 started. We've got $522 in the bank, and it is currently still in November. So we've got a long November ahead. We've got lots of contracts to do and lots of money to earn. But as you can see, we get about 56% through the field and it runs out. So it took 56% to do 300 liters, which means we should have just enough here, like literally just enough with our 279 liters, which is 92%, to get the rest of this field done. So we get started on the second half of the field, and it's going up pretty fast with the percentages, and it gets to 99 here as we finish off the end of the field, and we have literally got 3% left, 10 liters of fertilizer left. So that works out perfectly, which means we now have enough money to buy another pallet of fertilizer. And before we do that, we're going to head up to the north side of the map and get this deadwood contract done. As you can see, we made just under 4,000 for doing that field, which is really good income. It's nice and healthy amount. Now, one thing we did come across on our way over was this little plot here, field 67. It's something we've been looking at possibly purchasing, guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you think this is a good place for us to start our farm. It's a pretty nice spot here. I think it's about 40,000. I'll have a look in just a second. But it's a pretty nice big flat open area. It's got a couple of trees we could chop down and possibly process and sell as well. You can see here, it's just down to the southern side of the map, 41,500. You guys want us to purchase our piece of land here and start building, or should we go somewhere else? There is other places that are slightly cheaper, but this place is quite a nice little area. It doesn't have a field on it, but it does have bit of grass we could cut as well and possibly turn into bales or something. But remember, there is no loans in this, so we're going to have to figure out how we're going to purchase the equipment without loaning the equipment and without loaning anything from the bank. So we've got to work really hard to make sure we get enough money before we make any purchasing decisions. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any ideas of what you want us to buy or where you want us to buy the piece of land first to start our farm off, so we can finally get out of doing contracts. But for now, it is something we need to do. We've arrived here to the northern side next to the biogas, where we're going to be doing a deadwood contract. And unfortunately, the recording messed up a little bit here. So as I started the deadwood cutting trees, the recording actually stopped. So we're just going to cut straight to after the thing, just after this one. But we do manage to cut the first one down, and this is going to bring us in another $2,000, which is a really good amount for a deadwood contract. Currently on 4,200, and as you can see, up to 6,000 now as we head off to look at a couple more contracts around the map to do. We find another deadwood contract not far away, just down the road, which we are going to accept for 1,350, and then we see possibly one of the biggest fertilizing contracts we can do, $10,200 for field 24. Probably going to take a lot of runs to do and cost me a lot of fertilizer, but it might be worth doing. We'll probably make a pretty decent profit of at least 7,000 or 8,000. So we're going to accept this one, and we're also going to go back and accept the other little one as well, which we'll do at some point. Field number 2 and field number 35. We'll accept both of those and get those done at some point as well. But it's good money here. The fertilizing contracts are making a lot of money. They're costing quite a bit to buy the fertilizer, but the amount of time it's taking to do them, which isn't that long, is really good. And we've got this little deadwood contract to do just before we head over to the big field 24. So we're going to cut these trees down, get another couple thousand in just to kind of tie us over and allow us to purchase enough of the fertilizer as we go. So another one finish here, another 1,300 in the bank. And it's time to head over, get filled up at the shop, I think, and then head over to field 24. And as you can see, we've picked up 2 pallets of fertilizer. One of them we will chuck on the front forks. The other one we'll use just as like a filler. So we'll come back to the shop, fill up with 300 liters from that one, and then we'll take the other one on the front fork. So that should give us 1,300 liters of fertilizer, which would be a really good start in the field. Instead of having to come back here 3 times, we can stay in the field and fill up 3 times instead, which should cut down a lot of travel time, especially in this tractor, and not needing to do that. So you can see we filled up here. It gets to 1,300 liters at 100%, and we begin making our way over to the biggest field on the map in Riverbend Springs. It is field 24. We're going to make our way over to the right hand side. We can see the steering assist has popped up with the GPS lines. So we're going to follow those. We're going to start on the right side here and work our way across, and then do the headland at the end. And it's pretty big, as you can see how many lines are here. We're going to see how much percent it gets through by doing the first run here with our 300 liters in the front, and then we can fill up 3 more times and a little bit more before we have to head back to the shop. So hopefully we don't have to go back to the shop more than once during this field. We're going to get it started now and see how long it takes to empty it up. It's got quite a good 40-meter width, and we made it 18% through with our 300 liters before we had to fill up again. So we put the fork down with the pallet in front. We drive forward and just fill this up quickly. A real nice, easy method. It saves us a lot of time. And as we get going from 18%, we'll use the rest of this pallet on the front up as we cut back to the end. And as you can see, we get 81% through with 1,300 liters. So we almost did it, but we still have the headland left to do and this little bit here. So now we've got to head back to the shop, fill up the fertilizer on the back, and probably purchase one more thing to carry with us, one more pallet of fertilizer, and then we should be done after that, and we should bring in another $10,000, which should be really handy as we head through November. Yeah, I think it's a good idea to buy another 1,000 liters. Chuck that on the front. I don't think 300 liters is going to be enough to get this one done, and then we can head off to that smaller field, 35 I think it was, or 34, and get that one done as well, and get, I think it's about 700 for that contract too. So these fertilizer contracts are doing really well. We've got 410 liters left in that fertilizer bag there. We're going to leave the shop now and head back to field 24. But before we do that, we're going to go to field 35 and just get this little one done and out of the way quickly. We've got plenty of fertilizer. We should be able to get both of these done in one go, and this should just bring us in a little bit of money just to cover some of the costs of the fertilizer, and this one won't take long at all. So we're getting it done here, finish this one off, and now we're going to head back off to field 24 before we go back to field 2 and do more fertilizing. So at the moment, this series is just contracts, it's just deadwood, it's just fertilizing until we purchase more machines. We can't loan anything, so it's going to be like this for a little while, but hopefully we'll get through it, and then we'll start building our own farm. And I need your guys' help to build our farm and where we should build it. We've finally finished field 24 here, and it took us a while. We're down to 942 liters, so it used quite a bit. It used almost 1,500 liters of fertilizer, but we have earned $10,212 to add to our finances, which is going to be really helpful in purchasing our next tractor maybe, or another implement we need on the back, maybe a weeder or something to do some more contracts with. So now we're going to head off to field number 2, down off to the southern side of the map, where we're going to try and get some more money in. And we found another deadwood contract on the way, which is actually right next to where we were. We just had a quick look before we left, so we'll quickly stop off here on the way to get another $1,200 in the bag quickly. We've currently got $12,464, which isn't bad after purchasing the arms for the tractor and purchasing the tractor itself and quite a few fertilizer pallets. We're definitely making more money than we were in the first episode, so this is good. This is the way we want it to be. We want to keep earning more money as we keep going, and then slowly hire more AI workers to earn some of the money for us, as long as we have the implements for them to do the jobs. And as you can see, we've made it down here to field 2. We're going to fertilize this one as well, and it's not using up too much fertilizer. This one we get down to about 500 liters before this field ends, and nice and easily that's another couple of thousand in the bag. And it's really nice seeing that this fertilizer does a 14-meter width. You can see there another $2,700 in the bag. And we're going to figure out what we're going to do now. I think we might just take another quick look and see if there are any deadwood contracts on the run. Yes, there are. There's 1,350 yet again, just further south of us down in area 92. So we'll head off down that way. And I will be relieved when we get to a point where we don't need to do any more contracts. It is not an easy start. It has been tricky having to do fertilizing contracts, having to do deadwood contracts, having to run around on foot. But we're slowly getting to the point now where we might actually be able to hire some of the AI to do some of the jobs for us, as well as start to purchase our own farmland and own machines to do our own jobs, and see how much money we can start bringing in. Another deadwood contract here though, out of the way. We're currently at 16,300, and this puts us up to 17,600. And looking at a couple more contracts, guys, to finish this off. We've got 3 more we're going to do today before we finish in November, and all of them are fertilizing contracts, and it's 35, 44, and I think 32 as well, just to all these ones all up in the same area, up in the northern section. So we're going to head on up there now and finish these off. It's getting pretty late in the month, and November. We've been actually in November this whole episode, so we're going to finish it off in November before we head through winter in the next episode, guys. There's not going to be a lot to do in winter, so we've got to make sure we have enough money to kind of get through and then look into what we can do in the new year as well. If you enjoyed this, guys, please give us a like, share, subscribe. We're almost done here. We've just got field 44 done. We're going to be heading to field 35 right next to us now, and once we do all three, we'll turn them all in and hopefully get just over $20,000 to really kick us into the next episode. And you guys can let me know in the comments what kind of implements or vehicles you want us to purchase next, how we should go into the next year of this farm. We want to purchase our own land yet, or keep doing contracts to try and get a bit more income behind us, because it's going to be tricky once we start spending money to actually make sure we are making money at the same time. And we arrive at the final field of the month, and we set up the steering assist. Then we're going to make our way around and get this done. The 14-meter width is looking really good at the moment, and we still got plenty of fertilizer left, which we purchased quite a long time ago. We get to the end of the field, and we've got about 130, 120 liters left, 10% in the thing. So we'll go fill up at the start of the next episode. Guys, that is it for this episode. We pull up here. We look back at a pretty good month, a pretty solid November month, where we got lots of fertilizer contracts done. We got lots of deadwood contracts done as well. We made quite a lot of money. We bought the arms, we bought the pallet forks, we bought quite a lot of fertilizers and spent quite a bit of money, but we also still have 20,000 in the bank. So hopefully next episode we can double that and make even more money. We currently turn all three of these contracts in here. As you can see, 1,700 and 1,300, which gives us a solid foundation to build on in the next episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.